English panel, and we'll get to the heart of the meeting. Now, some folks require TTC tokens, and Lindsay McPhee, if you could, Lindsay McPhee has TTC tokens for people needing TTC tokens. And media, please, I'm going to ask you to refrain from asking any additional questions till the end of the town hall. And also, in the corner, on the side of the church over here, anybody that does not want to be filmed, please go over there and know that the media will respect your wishes not to be filmed. Now, at the end of towards the end of the town hall, we will be having an open microphone, and because your questions are very important, and we want your input as well. And also in the corner is the speaker's corner, and if you want to tell your stories, we want to hear them. So please, if you want to tell your personal stories, go to the speaker's corner, and your stories will be recorded. Now, the Recession Relief Coalition was formed about 15 months ago by representatives from frontline agencies, foundations, business people, and activists. Because it became apparent as the recession deepened that agencies would become increasingly stretched by growing demand and decreasing revenues. And as the recession continued, we saw hundreds of thousands of Canadians lose their jobs. Many were unable to find employment. Many lost their savings. Some lost their homes, and some lost hope. In desperation, they turned to the agencies, the frontline agencies, credit counseling, food banks, drop-ins, and shelters. And at the same time, for these agencies, donations were falling. Many agencies running deficits were forced to look at what services to cancel and what people to add to the rolls of the unemployed. The Recession Relief Coalition issued a declaration urging the federal government to come to the aid of the frontline agencies by maintaining budgets, doubling HIPPY funding lines, and investing in social infrastructure, including affordable housing. And over 260 organizations signed on. We've gathered data from a wide variety of sources, including the human stories that are so often overlooked by economists and politicians fixated on numbers. So if you're looking for research, stories and articles on the recession, our website has become a primary source. So please, just Google recession relief and you'll find us.
Shut up!
Now we're an open coalition, and we welcome each and every one to join us and to share your stories and to be heard.
Hi. As John said, at the formation of the Recession Relief Coalition, we realized early on that we needed to tell the real story of the recession as seen by social service agencies, workplaces, and people in communities. What we were reading in the newspapers, on the business pages, was not reflecting what we were seeing on the streets of the towns and cities that we live in. We were also hearing speeches from the federal government talking about how there's green shoots in the economy and that things are rosier in Canada than many places in the world. And this was not mirroring what we were seeing in our communities. So this will be our third bulletin released today. And what we try to do is look at other economic indicators that are not looked at by some of the media and the business pages. And we also try to tell the stories of the social agencies and the people affected by the recession. The bulletin we're releasing today is called 1 Year Later, Recession Fallout Continues, and it highlights issues of unemployment insurance, job loss, and employment, and the types of employment people are in. It also talks about social assistance, pensions, and the fraying social safety net in the nonprofit sector across Canada. So I'm not going to get into the detail, but just to maybe share a few highlights. One of our biggest concerns is that people that, hundreds of thousands of people that lost their jobs over a year and a half ago, many of whom couldn't even get unemployment insurance. Those that did get unemployment insurance or employment insurance, it's estimated that 500,000, almost 500,000, will be running out of those benefits very soon. We know those benefits are very low to begin with, but we're very concerned about what's going to happen to those people when they run out. All across Canada, social assistance rates are spiking, even in boom places like Alberta. And the growth is largely among the single population. We realize that that piece of the safety net is just the tip of the iceberg because it's very hard. As it's hard to get employment insurance, it's very hard to get social assistance, and you have to deplete all your assets to get those. The other issue that we looked at in this bulletin was the issue of pensions. This is a new issue that we've realized that as companies close down, we're finding out that the pensions they thought they paid into are not going to be there for them and not to the levels they expected. And I think that the Laurell workers have been in the media a lot, and they've rallied at Parliament Hill to get that reformed. And the labour movements and other parties are calling on national pension reform, and we're calling on that as well. And we've recognized, I think, even before the recession, that we didn't have a very strong safety net in Canada. It's been eroded over the last 10 years in the areas of housing and social assistance. But when the recession hit, it hit very hard. And the nonprofit sector is kind of the floor of support that is there when we don't have other programs. And that sector is hurting very hard. And the bulletin will share some research from across Canada in 3 jurisdictions to show that although the needs and demands are way up, the funding from foundation and government is going down. And these agencies are going to be in a very, very difficult position in 2010 as well, moving forward as the need continues to increase. So we hope that if you have stories, if you have data, you'll join with us in the months ahead to tell the story. And we hope that you'll join with the Recession Relief Coalition in telling politicians what is really going on in the ground.